Today, we're exploring the impact of digital payments on financial inclusion and the economy in Egypt and in the region.
We were attacked. Our testing environment was hacked. Every single PC and laptop or mobile that is used for work is an entry point to your system. Investing in security is a competitive advantage.
When they see the Visa brand, they trust that
Absolutely.
the transaction is going to be secured, that it's going to work.
One thing I discovered as well is that the budget for security is not small.
In the past 5 years, we've seen changes in the digital payment landscape as much as we've seen in the past 50 years.
This is the real revolution. People are coming to leverage what is available, connecting to it, and creating something new. We help people to pay their bills from anywhere. We are really helping small businesses to grow their business. We are helping consumers to meet their aspirations. We have a product, a very interesting product, that when you buy a household equipment, you have an option on the point of sale. Do you want to insure it?
Yeah.
If you press yes, it is done. The word embedded does not mean anything except you are making life easier by combining the business and the payment.
Welcome to Access Tomorrow, brought to you by Visa. Today, we're exploring the impact of digital payments on financial inclusion and the economy in Egypt and in the region. And to do that, I am joined by Ashraf Sabry. Ashraf is the mastermind behind Fawry, one of the biggest fintech in the region and probably the biggest fintech in Egypt. Ashraf, over the past 2 decades, has really redefined the way financial services are delivered to consumer, to small enterprises, and to merchants. It has become a household name all across Egypt. We will explore with him how Fawry started, what was the idea behind it, how it grew, what are the innovations that are coming, and also some advice to young fintech entrepreneurs that are starting their journey today. Welcome to the show, Ashraf.
Thank you.
It's
you
good
very
to
much.
have you.
Thank you for the invitation.
So let's dive into it. Ashraf, I think Fawry has become a household name in Egypt. The latest I heard, and maybe you can correct me, is the number of, or the volume of transaction that is done on the Fawry platform per day is around 4 billion Egyptian pounds daily. So you really entered the lives of millions and millions of people all across the country. I mean, how does it feel to have such, I would say, a responsibility and an impact? And when you created Fawry, did you imagine that you would have such a profound impact on the daily lives of people?
I wouldn't say I have imagined that I would have this impact on the people. But believe it or not, we had a very active young lady that we were working together in Raya. Her name is Magda Habib.
Okay.
And we decided very consciously that we are going to work on the brand. And we invested a lot in the brand at a time where we were not making any money. And in our meetings, I recall 2 things. I recall that we were always saying that we want Fawry to be like Hoover, like Xerox, like something like that. So this was in our mind.
Okay.
And the other thing, we decided that we want to copy the branding strategy of the schemes. Because it is a B2B offering.
Yeah.
However, the brand is to the C. And our offering is B2B because we were serving banks, we are serving utility companies at that point. But we wanted the consumer to know that this brand represents or means the following. So the 2 dimensions of the schemes and being the alternative to payment for the mass was actually part of the strategy. But the impact was not.
So how does it feel to have such an impact?
I will tell you something. I mean, it creates an internal pressure that you still have to go and that you still have to look forward. And this is really enjoyable.
Yeah.
And our industry is full of new things, full of changes. You can, as I was telling you ahead of the meeting, there are many other organizations doing different things. And if you just have the time to find out what's happening in the world and try to adapt it to what can happen in the market, I think it never ends. It is a very, very challenging, continuous story.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying it, enjoying the impact, happy. However, I felt the really impact. Last year we had a big problem. Okay, we were attacked. Okay, our testing environment was hacked, and I realized that we are very important. Because, you know, everybody was calling you, every authority was calling you, everybody wanted to make sure that everything is in place. Thanks God, I mean, we managed. It was on the testing environment, so there was nothing really big, but we felt really that we are important to people.
Yeah.
Because when we were in a problem, everybody was speaking that Fawry is in a problem.
Yeah.
And although it was, you know, a very tough experience, but on the other hand, it made us realize that we are a key player in the market.
Yeah. So what did you learn from this experience, actually? What did you change in your strategy or the way you do things?
That I'm a man of details, okay? But in some areas, I was not giving enough attention, and I was relying on that if I am certified, that things are okay. Okay. So we were a PCI certified organization. We were ISO, I don't know what certified organizations, and we had the regular checks, and everything was moving fine. So this was actually making me a little bit relaxed. Okay, then I'm okay. But after that, I discovered that I'm not okay. And it gave me the opportunity to understand really what is security is.
Yes.
And it is much more than what is required by the standard certifications. It is a culture, it is a process, it is that every single PC and laptop or mobile that is used for work is an entry point to your system. Every client application is an entry point to your system. So it is not only protecting your system, it is making sure that even your mobile application that is in your hands is being secured enough that it cannot. So you discovered that you know, you can be penetrated from a single station that have not been covered by the right security measures. That the testing environment is as important as the production environment. So it is a lot of discoveries. And one thing I discovered as well is that the budget for security is not small. So I mean, but anyhow, I think investing in security is a competitive advantage. And I think realizing that it is a fraction of a second is important. And that what they say, the zero concept in security is really important. So it was a very good experience to me, and I learned a lot. And I'm paying a lot of money right now.
So security companies are happy. No, I think, I mean, at Visa, I know we invested more than $10 billion in security over the past 5 years. We continue to invest because, like you said, I mean, it's true, we are also a B2B2C company, but people, when they see the Visa brand, they trust that
absolutely
the transaction is going to be secured, that it's going to work.
Absolutely.
And the same thing with a household name like Fawry.
Absolutely. I mean, it is a real issue. And as you said, I mean, security companies are making a huge amount of money out of that. I mean, but anyhow, this is life.
It's interesting what you said at the beginning that, you know, there's this concept and now that is coming back a bit in Silicon Valley, which is around the founder mode and saying that you're a founder, you founded a company, it grew big, and then you bring in a CEO that's going to take care of the company. And now there's a lot that are coming back and saying, no, we have to go back to being the founder who looks at the details, who is really on top of everything, and that's
Look,
happening.
I mean, everybody have tried to tell me that you have to, I mean, go up in the ladder a little bit. But I am always under the impression that you have to have the ability to dive when you need to dive in, and to go up when you need
When you
to go
need to.
up. But the idea of that you cannot have the basic understanding of what's happening in an industry that is changing every year,
Yes.
and in an ecosystem that is interactive and is integrated. So somebody have to master how things are happening.
Yeah.
It can be 2, it can be 3, it can be 4. But the idea of sitting at the board level and saying the GDP is growing at 10% and the inflation at 4%, so this is our strategy, I don't think in our business
It works.
It works.
I want to go back to impact. So I think, I mean, we talk a lot about financial inclusion, and it's kind of this theoretical concept. When I think of financial inclusion, it's actually quite simple. It's about helping people, right? It's about making sure that they have access to certain aspects of the economy, helping them have a better life for themselves, building a better future for themselves and for their families. So you talk about impact, and I love stories. I don't know if you can share a story about a person or a community or a small business that you were able to transform their lives altogether.
Okay. Well, let me first agree with you. I mean that financial inclusion is about helping people to have access to finance at the time they need that.
Yeah.
Okay. But let me tell you our story with the impact and the inclusion. It is really, I mean, a little bit of mix of things. So let me tell you when we started. So when we started, we were a bill payment aggregator. So we were enabling consumer to pay bills, and this was the main business that we were in. To do that, we had to open a real big network that is currently around 300,000, but it was 130,000, 50,000, and it grew. So in our discussions, actually, and when we were asked then, where is the inclusion? We said, can you imagine that it is cheaper for a rich man to pay his bill than a poor man? Because to pay your bill as a poor man, you have to travel, you have to pay for transportation, you have to pay for that, and then go and make the payment and come back. So it is actually more expensive. So we help people to pay their bills from anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, and so we provided people with a facility that is more convenient and less expensive to make a due payment that is required. On the other hand, we discovered that we are creating business for small kiosks and for small retailers. And it is not only generating for them revenue out of the financial services that they are offering to the consumer, but it was creating to them footfall and competitive advantage. And I recall that we were the number one target for the visits of organizations like the World Bank, like the IFC, because they wanted to see a young lady in Aswan operating a financial system and making money out of it. So this is how it started. So it had impact on many people. And then the more we are, into lending and into saving and into all that stuff, we are really helping small businesses to grow their business. And we are helping consumers to meet their aspirations. In one of the conferences that I was attending in, I think it was the US, they were speaking about the financial health index.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, I mean, the financial health index is providing you with access to finance to fulfill your aspirations. And this is really what we have to focus on. It is not the number of bank accounts or the number of bank cards. I mean, it is more than that. There is a depth in the meaning, and this is how it can really have an impact on the economy.
100%. And since you're talking about access to finance, I think you've expanded into offering in this space and like lending, for example. And this is a big step in not only from a financial inclusion perspective. So how did you see those extra services actually help you connect with your customers at a deeper level? And especially when in a market where cash still represent a big part of the culture of the everyday consumer or even small business or micro business.
Let me tell you that as we were saying, I mean, you want to help a business or to help a customer. And when you really look into how you can help him, either by making it easy or convenient, or enabling him, if he has small business, to buy more goods at the right time. And we were the first to launch Buy Now, Pay Later in a B2B transaction, okay, that is integrated into the same flow. And we are, more and more becoming convinced that if we can integrate the business and the finance together in a single transaction, convenient to the consumer or to the small business, this is really where it will click. So we tried everything. We tried term loans for small businesses. They were very, skeptical about it because they said, you give me £1,000 that I don't need right now, and it is realized 100%, and I have to pay the installments, which is different than I'm buying this merchandise now. If I have my money, I'll pay for my money. If I don't have, I can access the finance. And this way of integration, we integrated the insurance in the same service.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to say, and there is a lot of education that needs to happen. But when it happens, so let me tell you, we have over than 1 million small insurance policies that have been distributed.
1 million, okay. Wow.
And people are very happy. At a point of time, everybody said, from a religious point of view, you are not going to sell any insurance. People does not like insurance because of it. It is not true. When people understand that this is something that would protect them in a situation where doesn't happen regularly, frequently, they appreciate it and they are in it, and it works.
And to continue on this one, I think so. One of the things that our CEO says is that in the past 5 years, we've seen changes in the digital payment landscape as much as we've seen in the past 50 years. That it has transformed tremendously, and of course, with this comes more competition, more and more players entering different markets.
Sure.
So how are you positioning yourself as Fawry to stay on top and keep innovating? And how do you plan to maintain this competitive edge that today you have maintained for so many years?
There are always lessons learned across your journey, okay? And one of the lessons I learned, it was really, when I was at Raya, I was at a company called Raya before founding Fawry. And I was taking care of, going to the market and for fundraising and all this stuff. And we were very proud that when we put in our presentations that we are a holding company that have 55 brands and companies beyond it, okay? And I realized that people are very confused, okay? And they didn't know how things would create value and how they are synergized and. So the way we are maintaining a competitive advantage is that we have some key pillars in any new business decision, whether it complements what we are doing or not, whether we can leverage what we have to create a cost advantage because of operating leverage or not. And this really helps us in two things. Number one, replicating an offering is easy, but replicating an ecosystem is extremely difficult. Second, it helps us a lot into realizing profit very quickly.
Okay.
So Normally, our cost of customer acquisition is lower because we have the customer base already, so it have to be something on top. Normally, our cost of operation and technology is lower because we are leveraging the same platform, the same salespeople, the same support people, and so on. And normally, especially when it came to lending and into targeting, our understanding of the customer is more.
Yeah.
So our credit decisions are better. Our targeting is much better. So all of this helps you to develop something that have a shorter time to the market, that is more focused, and that creates more barriers to entry to the client. Because if you are my client, let us take the acceptance as an example.
Yeah.
If I have a single point of sale that is at the merchant, that is not integrated to the cashier system, that is not integrated to the promotion engines, that is not integrated to the installments, that is not integrated into the ERP system, okay? The first thing that any customer can do is he's going to throw it tomorrow if he receives 1 cent cheaper than the first offer. Because you are not part of his business. You are enabling a payment to happen in a commodity way. But if you are helping him to increase his sales, to improve the customer experience at the checkout, to improve the operations while reconciliating and all the stuff, you are part of his way to growth and to profitability. So if you think more about how to help people to achieve their objective and make payment a secondary objective, then you are more on the side of the customer rather than being on the side of the payment rails.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is in front of me every single day. I mean, it never disappears from my mind. So it is the ecosystem, it is the continuous education, and to realize that there are many ideas in the world, and it is your belief that your ability to implement is more important than the idea.
Yeah.
Because nowadays
So important.
the ideas are, you go into the YouTube and you write, I want to make a buy now, pay later platform.
Or to ChatGPT.
Or
right?
to ChatGPT, okay? They are there. How about to implement, how to drive, how to make things happen is really what makes the difference.
Yeah, the ability to execute.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And to offer it at the right time and at the right price. A lot of what you said in your strategy relies a lot on data. And I'm sure there's a lot of the decisions you make that are data-driven. How are you looking at the emergence of technologies like generative AI coming into the way you work, but also the way you offer services?
Look, I think the impact of generative AI on coding would be extremely high. Mm-hmm. The impact of data science in general, whether it is generative or not, in targeting, in acquisition, in client engagement. And I think this is really key, the client engagement. I use an application for food delivery,
yeah.
whether it is Uber or Talabat or whatever, okay? And then I go to my people for our consumer. I told them that, I was using Uber yesterday and I didn't order a soft drink. I received at the checkout, why don't you take a 50% discount on the soft drink?
Yes.
The real-time continuous engagement based on your status and profile with the consumer is revolutionary.
So.
And this is a lot of technology. So what we have done is we started our AI team and our big data team 6-7 years ago.
Okay.
It was helping us initially in finding the locations of the new stores that we want to target, and then into credit scoring, and then into fraud, and then into continuous engagement with
the
with clients. So managing the data is not only profiling and segmenting, is understanding the behavior of the customer and engaging with him at the right time. And so, I mean, it is core to any competitive advantage.
Yeah, and it continues to be core to your innovation as well.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I mean, we've been also, I mean, at Visa, we've been using AI for more than 3 decades now, specifically on everything that is fraud and risk management. And lately, we've integrated, like you say, how it revolutionized coding, right? Today, I think probably 50% of the code we generate is, I mean, our developers, 50% of the code they generate is generated by Gen AI and
Yeah,
ChatGPT,
yeah.
and the productivity is amazing. It will help us bring more solutions
Absolutely.
more rapidly to market.
You know, we had a discussion about we are going to let go our source code when we start using generative AI. So our code will be in the
Open
public.
source.
It is available for everybody. And again, it is like your ability to execute. It is
Yes.
not only the code. Okay.
The ecosystem.
The ecosystem, the people, the so there will be real changes in the attitude towards things.
Yeah.
I mean, if you recall, I mean, I would recall more. I'm a lot older than you, but at a point of time, you know, if you have a girlfriend or you have a boyfriend, this was a top secret. Okay. Look at the social media right now.
Now it's everywhere.
Okay. So you are announcing your relations. Okay. It is completely new.
Yes.
Okay. I think the same will happen in source code sharing. Sharing is becoming part of the new era. And this, when we were discussing the ecosystem or what happened in the digital world, what happened in the digital world is not really the technology. It is the connectivity and leveraging resources.
True.
And I think the foundation for that was something like where the content is not yours. So as an application now, the content of the insurance should not be mine. The content of the merchandise should not be mine.
Yeah.
Okay. So what happens is that you are leveraging each other to create a bigger ecosystem with higher productivity. And this is the real revolution, because you cannot say that, especially in the payment and the financial industry, that technology was not there. No, the financial industry was ahead of many industries
Yes.
in deploying technology. But what happened now, it is open to the rest of the world. And so other people are coming to leverage what is available, connecting to it, and creating something new.
Yeah.
So it's more minds, more people leveraging each other. And I think
It's fascinating.
This will happen.
I want to switch gear a little bit and talk about partnerships.
Sure.
I mean, how do you see, what role do strategic partnerships play in Fawry's growth? And can you talk about a specific partnership that really helped in fueling the success of Fawry?
All our work is partnerships. I mean, because we are a platform sitting in the middle between many players. So our partnership to the banks have enabled the banks to access clients that was expensive to them to handle, so it was not sustainable. Our partnership with the utility companies and all the stuff has extended the reach to have a better and more efficient collection system. Our partnership with the schemes at different parts have made discussions that created new ideas and new platforms and all the stuff. The new, what we were saying, the new era is about connectivity, and connectivity is partnership.
It's partnerships, yeah.
Okay, I was very highly impressed by on the podcast, somebody saying I'm measuring my success by the number of APIs I'm connected to. Okay, because this is the new world, and this is where 1 + 1 = 5.
Yeah.
Okay, so partnership is at the core of anything we are doing.
And of all your success. Yeah.
100%.
So we talked about a little bit, touch a bit about artificial intelligence and as a trend in the fintech space and in digital payments. What are other big trends you see are going to impact digital payments and fintechs in general?
Embedded finance.
Yeah.
I mean, and you have to simplify things because sometimes people complicate and make it so easy. The first embedded finance is the e-commerce transaction. I mean, it is as simple as that. You are doing, you are buying something from a site, and you finished and you pay.
Yeah.
So payment is embedded into the buying cycle. Okay. And then lending is embedded into the buying cycle. And then insurance is embedded into the buying cycle. Okay. So the word embedded does not mean anything except you are making life easier by combining the business and the payment. And when you look at the new creative models, even into what they so-called intelligent card systems, where what is the intelligence? The intelligence is your ability to integrate the financial system or the card system into the business system. And you hear the stories of the Uber, of the delivery, of the... so what's happening is I want to know when I finish the trip on the Uber system, I credit the driver's account on the bank system, okay? And so this is really, I think, what will happen. I think as well that business to business is very much underserved. Invoices are very much underserved. Factoring is very much underserved. InsurTech is very much underserved. And this is big, huge opportunities.
Yeah.
Cross-border facilitation, I don't want to pinpoint, but there are areas that still the complexity of things that are being the friction and all this stuff. And the issue is that every person working in a business is a consumer. And so he's seeing that things are happening on the other side very easily. Why it's complicated on our side? Okay,
it's so true.
So I believe that as we said, I mean, areas like customer engagement, areas like B2B, areas like embedded finance, areas like integrating insurance into. So we have a product, a very interesting product that when you buy a household equipment, you have an option on the point of sale. Do you want to insure it?
Yeah.
If you press yes, it is done. Okay, so many things of that will happen. That is facilitating, helping insurance companies to make more penetration, helping merchants to make more money on the insurance and to give better service to their clients and so on and so forth.
Interesting. Let's see where Fawry is going to take us in this next big journey of
Trying
fintech.
hard.
So we're getting to the end of our conversation. And I usually ask this a pivot question. And if you could share with us, I mean, looking back at your journey at Fawry, a pivotal moment in the Fawry journey that really redefined the path of your company to success. And maybe in the form of an advice to young entrepreneurs, to young emerging fintech entrepreneurs.
I wouldn't say I'm in a pivotal moment or a pivotal event, but I would say, I mean, some people think that this is not really true, but I believe that you have to believe that there is a portion of luck in your success.
Okay.
And sometimes you meet the right people in the right time, and sometimes you don't. But what drives luck is a continuous, persistent effort to learn and to implement. And never think or never imagine that you are the only one who understands. There are many people around you that understand, and be with your team more than managing your team.
Yeah.
I recall many moments. So, I mean, this is being with your team is something that I recall because it has a family background as well. My daughter was engaged, okay, and after engagement in the feast time, okay, so the you have to go and visit your new in-laws, and I mean, it is part of the there was no wedding yet. I mean, it was just I mean, an engagement or maybe early talks. I cannot recall. And the night of the feast, usually we have high traffic. Okay, so we had like I mean, a consistent way that during the night of the feast, every time the system will crash. Okay, so I was sitting there, okay, working with the team because the system crashed. Time passed. It is 11:30. My wife is calling. I'm not answering because I am in the middle of everything. And then she called me and told me, it's your daughter or the company. Choose. So I mean that it needs a lot of devotion, working with the team, loving the story, being all the time excited, learning all the time.
Yeah.
And there is no miracles. It is all about. But you have to realize that it is not only you. There are some luck, some good timing, some good people that you meet in different occasions. So I mean, it is not pivot. It is not an advice. It is my experience.
And thank you so much for sharing this experience,
No,
Ashraf.
it's my pleasure. Always, I mean, being with you. I mean, and although I don't know, it might be right or wrong, or in the right place or in the wrong place, but the development that happened within Visa in the last 3 or 4 years is really amazing. And I have to thank you as a company, as well as a person. I mean, what I have seen in the last 3-4 years is completely different. So well done, and from success to success.
Thank you so much, Ashraf. And it's great to have partners, strategic partners like Fawry. And I'm sure our audience gained some great insights from your experience, from what's coming in fintech, and many young entrepreneurs definitely look up to you. Thank you, Ashraf.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
And thank you once again to all of you for watching and listening to Exits Tomorrow, brought to you by Visa.